Hey guys, Sensor here, and welcome to another Shadowlands beta video. Now, in this video, I'm going to go over the changes that they made to Shadow Priest. Now, this caught me completely off guard because at this point of the beta and stuff, I didn't know that they would be making like substantial changes, but it is incredible what they did with Shadow Priest. Like, pretty much a complete overhaul. I'm hesitant to say complete overhaul, but basically they changed the way Void Form works, and it's so much better to play. It went from being something that just wasn't that great on beta to being probably one of my favorites and one of my probably one of the first characters that I'll play. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and go over some of these changes. I'm going to start with the just passive changes. So one thing that they did was they have Dark Thoughts now. There are no talents now that have to deal with Mind Blast. Now they just have these baseline changes so that Shadow Damage, Dots, and Mind Flay and Seer will have a chance to trigger Dark Thought, and that'll give you an extra charge of Mind Blast and then make it instant cast and be able to cast while channeling Mind Flay or Seer. So that's really nice. And of course, the biggest thing is the Void Form change. So now Void Form has a minute and a half cooldown. So you don't just use it whenever. It costs 90 sanity, it requires 90 sanity to activate, but it doesn't actually use up any sanity, and it now just lasts for 15 seconds regardless. So, increases your spell damage by 20% and gives you an additional charge of Mind Blast and refreshes the cooldown. So now it's just a straight cooldown for 15 seconds, and as you can see now it's off cooldown, and that's really huge. For another big thing is the Devouring Plague, because Devouring Plague was added back, and I was like, why was Devouring Plague in here when it takes so much sanity? Well, now you can see, because they changed Void Form, so now you're pretty much using your sanity on during those cooldown periods. You're going to be using your sanity on Devouring Plague, and they also increase the damage of Devouring Plague, so it does quite a bit of damage. It's usually the strongest hitting ability. I don't currently have details on, because I think it was messing up with the latest patch, like causing crashes and whatnot, but earlier I was using it, and yeah, Devouring Plague does a lot of damage. But now I want to go over the talent changes. Now when it comes to like DPS talent changes, every row has had a change. The only two rows that don't have changes are the 25 row and then the 35 row, and those aren't DPS abilities. So there's still Fortress of Mind. There's Depth of Madness, but this Unfurling Darkness was changed to, or it's a new talent, and what it does is it causes Vampiric Touch to instantly deal damage immediately, and if you had a Vampiric Touch on another target, then it'll be instant cast. Let me just kill these people real quick, and yeah, it'll instantly do damage. And that can only occur once every 15 seconds, so it's a strong ability, but I don't know if it'll be the best ability to use in all situations. Now another change is what I'm using right now, and I'll go ahead and show it. It's called Searing Nightmare. So it does damage. It's only usable while you're channeling Mind Seer, and it does damage and puts Shadow Word Pain on the target. As you can see, that does a lot of damage. And if they already have Shadow Word Pain on the target, then it'll just do double the damage. Now it does cost sanity, but in an AoE situation, any type of cleave situation, this is going to be one of the best talents, I think. Looking at the damage that it did, and it was usually like number one on the list by a lot. It does so much damage that it's right now it might be overtuned, I don't know, but it does require sanity, and it does require you to channel Mind Seer to use it. But it is very strong. Yeah, and there's still Misery and Twist of Fate. I think this is going to be a difficult row actually, and I think that's actually interesting because all three of these talents are very useful. When it comes to single target, Twist of Fate is probably going to be the best if you're trying to get dots quicker, all the dots than Misery, but just straight AoE damage, Searing Nightmare is definitely the best. And then we have Psychic Link. So this one is interesting because it makes it so that 60% of the damage that you do with Mind Blast will be copied to anybody that has Vampiric Touch within 40 yards. So let me just go ahead and do that, and then Mind Blast will do damage So it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, Mind Blast does damage to all the people that have Vampiric Touch on them. Now, overall, Auspicious Spirits might still be better, but you know, if you can get multiple Mind Blasts out, uh, then that could be a pretty decent, you know, damage, extra damage added. And then we have Damnation on the 45 row, and that's a pretty cool one because I think this one's also going to be one of those, at least between Mindbender and Damnation, will be a choice. Because this one is a new ability with a 45-second cooldown, and it instantly puts all your dots on the target for free. So I'll just go ahead and use it on this person up here. And it's on a, you know, again, 45-second cooldown, but your Shadow Word Pain, oh, whoops, wrong one. Shadow Word Pain, and Vampiric Touch, and Devouring Plague. And the biggest thing is it's for free. So you can do that because, you know, Devouring Plague doesn't last that long. It's only like, oh, it actually doesn't say how much it lasts. But yeah, it's about 7 seconds or something like that. But it does so much damage. So being able to get a free Devouring Plague is nice because then, you know, you can go in with like nearly full sanity and then you can get pretty much 3 Devouring Plagues off in a cleave situation or just in a single target situation. You'll be able to keep that Devouring Plague going for a while. So I think that's going to be a very good one. But there is a new legendary that I can't show anymore since they wiped the characters. But Mindbender, it reduces the cooldown of Shadow Fiend and Mindbender by a lot, and basically makes Mindbender like one of your strongest damage things. So that'll still be a useful talent for that. And I'm not sure about Void Torrent, but since, you know, your sanity doesn't matter anymore in Void form, then that might be changed a little bit. And then Ancient Madness is the other new talent. It makes it so that entering Void form will increase your crit strike by 30% for 15 seconds, and it reduces by 2% every second. So just a, you know, a nice extra boost for going into Void form. There's still Surrender Madness, but one of the best things as well is not only have all these changes that, you know, I personally think are amazing. They changed Legacy of the Void, so now if you want to go back to basically how it was before, you can. So the Void form no longer has duration. So instead of 15 seconds, it'll last until your, you know, insanity drains. Now that will cause some issues if you're, you know, for your Devouring Plague and all that. So I don't think it's perfect, but it does allow you to do, you know, kind of like the old way, and it increases spell damage by 5%, additional 5%. So it's, you know, if you want to play the old Void form, then you can, but again, it's not quite like it was because, again, there's still the cooldown. So, you know, even though you can do the duration, you know, it doesn't have that 15-second duration anymore. It's still 90-second cooldown. So I don't know. I think it's pretty good though. But yeah, it's so fun. It feels more freeing to have that Void form as a cooldown. I know some people have mentioned wanting, you know, just turn Void form into a cooldown, and yeah, it's not. You know, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's, you know, it's good. You know, it's more fun to play in my opinion. Devouring Plague is back and actually useful, and I can't wait to, you know, try these out with, you know, conduits and legendaries. It's just, yeah, Shadow Priest was my first raid character, and it's good to, you know, it's looking really good. So anybody that's been holding out for Shadow Priest didn't think it was going to happen. They actually did it, and I think it can only go up from here. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give a like and subscribe for future videos. And as always, thanks for watching.